Hello, hello, welcome. We are just waiting for everyone to log into the webinar. We'll get started in a minute or two, but welcome. Welcome to everyone who is early and on board to Branded 2020. Just give it a minute for everyone else to log in and we'll get started. Okay, awesome. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the second day of Branded 2020. For those of you who don't know about Branded, if it's your first time attending or if you haven't attended in a while, Branded is an annual event that invests, connects, and levels up Black newcomer and MVP youth, most vulnerable people that are entrepreneurs. To date, we've invested over $100,000 in youth businesses through our pitch contests and contracted services. We've empowered more than 200 youth entrepreneurs by connecting them with mentors and providing them tangible business advice. And today, we are here with Mr. Ryan Knight, the Executive Director of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, here to give you some tangible knowledge that you can take away talking about the Black Entrepreneurship Fund. Ryan is a serial social entrepreneur who is passionate about building inclusive, sustainable, and resilient communities using social enterprise as a tool. He believes that we can amplify the underestimated populations in our communities with new, innovative, and creative perspectives. He's all about empowering Black businesses and is an amazing person to connect with if you don't already know him. Thank you so much, Ryan, for taking our invitation to come today and speak with the youth, to speak with the attendees of Branded 2020 and share your knowledge.
No, can you hear me? It is a pleasure to be here, sir.
Awesome. I'll hand it over to you and you can just take it away.
All right, awesome. So, one sec, my computer. All right, I'm gonna start sharing my screen. But I'm curious, for those that are watching right now, if you knew about this announcement that the government made to support Black entrepreneurs, I would please love you to put one into the chat right now. So I want to just get a taste for who's aware of the funding that is available for us right now. So one, if you did know, a two, if this is the first time that you're hearing about it. All right, so got a few people that knew of it. Never heard about it. All right, because if you've never heard about it, you are in the perfect place. So let me see. All right, so just before I go into the presentation, to give you the quick overview. So the government made an announcement back in September that 221 million is going to be available to support Black entrepreneurs. And so the next question for those that are on the call, I would love to know if anybody asked your opinion about this fund that was rolled out. So if you were asked your opinion, I would love you to put a 5 into the chat. If you were not asked your opinion, please put a 6. Let me just see. Okay. So Renice was not asked. Jonathan was not asked. Okay. Excellent. Desiree, you're part of it a little bit. That's good. And Desiree, if you could unmute real quick, I would be curious, what was your feedback to the government about this fund when you were first asked about it?
Desiree may not be able to unmute right away, so let me see if I can
Mhm.
give her access right now.
Cool, cool.
Desiree,
Hello.
you should be. There you go.
Hi, Desiree.
Hi. Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
I was curious when you were first approached about the fund and asked your feedback. What was your response? Like, what recommendations did you give?
I'd like to clarify. I was not asked my feedback on it. That was what I was trying to say. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you're a 6, not a 5.
I'm a six. I'm a six. I'm a six.
And the common thread that I want to show is that there are a lot of voices that could have also been at the table for this recommendation. And the beautiful thing is that I do have a meeting with the Small Business Minister's office tomorrow. So you are in the perfect place to get your voices heard. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a sec. I'm going to share my screen and then start the official presentation, and then we'll get into that exercise very shortly. Hold on. This. Okay. Thanks. All right. So as it's loading, just quick mic check. Vanessa, is my screen showing okay? All good? All right, so for those that may not know, my name is Ryan Knight, and I'm the co-founder and current executive director of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We really strive to develop economic strength in the Black community. My background, I'm, like Christopher mentioned, a serial entrepreneur, sold one of my social enterprises, and are in the process of expanding our company into 60 cities across the US and across Canada. That company is the Detailing Knights. Again, if you don't know, the Detailing Knights, we are a mobile waterless car cleaning company. So we go to your house or to your office and clean your car on the spot without using any water. One of the first social enterprises to become a B Corp, actually in the auto industry in the world, and definitely the first in Brampton, and have become a real advocate for the B Corp certification and showing really the government and other players in the nonprofit world that for-profit companies can also do good work in the community, have a strong impact. And for us, it was the reduction of water waste by 99% and the youth entrepreneurship program that we were able to develop. So what we were doing was creating a mini version of our company, working with youth that were coming out of detention or in conflict with the law, or even those that were in high school or college or university, to now show them how to become entrepreneurs by running a mini version of our company. So they would get all the equipment, get all the supplies, go through our training, and then be assigned a territory wherever they live, like in their zones, and start from scratch. And we were finding that students were making up to $500 a month, or not a month, a week, and upwards of $3,000 a week. No, yeah, a week, just from going through our program in the summer. So couple that or compare that to what they might have been making flipping burgers at a fast food restaurant, we feel like becoming an entrepreneur is the better way to go. So while we were running that program, we saw that a lot of the students that were graduating out of our program did not have a local Black focused support organization that was in business, or a business support organization in the Black community that they could go to help grow their company or expand on their entrepreneurship knowledge. So 7 entrepreneurs, we came together to create the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. And really it was to provide a resource hub that entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean descent could come to us and really map out what their goals are, where they're trying to get with their business, create a blueprint, and then have that accountability coach / consultant working with them to make sure that they met these goals. And so over 12 months, we always meet with our members once a month to get a pulse check on where they're at with this blueprint that we put together and make sure that they're kept on track. And just to go through the different pillars of focus for ACBN, mainly entrepreneurship. As I mentioned, we want to foster the next generation of Black Canadian entrepreneurs. We do that through our programming and also the services that we offer. So it ranges from info sessions, networking events, mentoring, and joint venture projects. So whatever industry you're in, we try to find other entrepreneurs that are also in that industry so that you can partner up with them and go after bigger contracts. You'll find, and I might touch on it later today, that social procurement is a really big area of focus for the city, the federal government, and the provincial government. And you want to be able to position yourself to get these bigger contracts ranging from 500,000 plus into the millions. A lot of times as a solo entrepreneur, you wouldn't be able to get it on your own, but if you partnered up with other entrepreneurs that have a lot more track record, or just to combine forces, you'd be able to get these bigger contracts as well. So the next piece, I'm blocking my own stuff. So the economic inclusion. So really being an advocate for Black entrepreneurs to make sure that we are at every table that talks about economic development, and especially talking about supporting Black entrepreneurs. So you'll see, I'll go through the story of my involvement with the Black entrepreneurship supports that the government announced. But beyond that, the reason that I was at a lot of these tables were because of partnerships with other organizations. So the BBPA, the Black Chamber of Commerce, SETC, the social economy through social inclusion, they were able to make sure that we are advocating for Black entrepreneurs. So any funding that's coming out for us, we're at the table to try to help to design it. So you might have heard of the Social Finance Fund, which is 755 million. Well, it was 800 million, and then they carved out 50 million to create a grant. I'll go into details of that later. But yeah, for social enterprises to be able to get investment into their companies to amplify what their the impact that they're having in the community. So if you consider yourself a social enterprise, and I would garner to bet that you are, and you might not know it, there are also grants that are available for your enterprise, for your business. So make sure to take down my email address after. I'll share with you how to access these different grants. And again, when this $755 million program or the Social Finance Fund was being designed, we were able to be in the room at those tables to give that perspective from the Black community. And for myself, the trouble is just having one Black man in these rooms doesn't do the community justice. So what I want to advocate for is more of us being in these rooms, and at minimum, more of us getting our voices heard. So you'll see with the exercise that we're going to do today that having people ask you the right questions, documenting your answers, and then presenting them in a professional and purposeful way is going to get your voices heard so that ideas that you have are not left out. We're seeing a lot of these programming, a lot of these funding initiatives miss the mark because they're not talking to enough of our community. And then it falls back on us because we're not as organized as we should be to get all of our voices heard and move forward with one message. So you'll see that touches a bit on the convening aspect. So convening is typically with our networking events. We used to do monthly networking events. So every month we would take a different theme around business development, whether it's marketing, bookkeeping, HR, or legal. There's like 20 different aspects of running your business, and we would touch on one topic and then do a presentation about it, and also create working groups. So if there's a grant that's available, we would do an info session about the grant, talk about the process to apply, and then come together as a group to apply for the grant. So you can ask your questions and get really, as you're writing your grant, you have experts in the room that you can ask questions to so you don't get stuck. Because I find a lot of entrepreneurs, we want to go for grants, or especially people that are in the nonprofit world, or you're running a grassroots initiative, but going after grants, it might be your first time. So typically a lot of us get stuck and then we end up not applying for the grant. So we put together these working groups and info sessions to make sure that if there's a grant that you qualify for, we make sure that you get your application in. And then that leads into the access to funding. So there's a lot of different ways to raise money uh, for your business, and we want to make sure that you know about all of them, whether it ranges from getting access to a grant, loans like microloans, or traditional funding like loans, and also investment. We're seeing statistics that are showing a lot of our entrepreneurs are not getting initial seed investment, don't have access to the friends and family round where you can just like, I'll tell you a quick story. When I was running detailing nights and first starting it up, at Thanksgiving dinner, I gathered everybody from my immediate family and did this big presentation about my vision for detailing nights and raised $7,000 in that room just with my family. So a lot of our entrepreneurs don't have that ability to raise money just from the immediate family that we have. And then that doesn't allow you to go to that next step where you're getting angel investment or raising a seed round or a Series A round and going from 7,000 to 25,000 to 500,000 to millions. So this is the type of progression that we want to make you comfortable with leveraging capital, whether it's a grant. And I usually say, don't use grants to build and start your business, use it to subsidize and really amplify what you're doing. Leveraging loans so that the investment you use the loan for allows you to increase your company to a certain level that it pays for the loan. So really you're getting free money, and loans you're able to get a lot faster. And then that next level is the investment. So positioning your company to be investment ready, strong financials, strong reporting, so that when a person is looking to invest in your company, one, you know how much equity that you should be giving up, and two, you understand what they're looking for, and you can present yourself well and go through those different rounds to really exponentially grow your company. So please, if you have questions about raising funds, getting access to capital, I'm going to ask you very specifically how much money you're looking for. So think about it right now. Think about the initiative that you are working on, and think about how getting access to money would support you. All right. Oh, is it going to the next slide? All right. So just to touch a bit on that, again, fostering entrepreneurship. So we help businesses to launch their companies and innovate and really infuse technology in a way to amplify or to optimize what your current workflow. So your workflow could be your supply chain or just your customer journey or just your internal operations. A lot of times we're missing ways to inject technology to make things more seamless and also less stressful for yourself. Usually the entrepreneur works as hard. I mean, we're one of the hardest working communities in the world, but we only work in a way that is like just yourself. So we have a certain potential or a certain cap on our potential because we're pulling every single lever of this machine that we call our businesses. So we want to shift you from just being a solopreneur and jack of all trades, doing it all yourself, to now being a business owner and having staff or having processes in place that relieve your stress but amplify your production. And again, we do this through specialized programming, also different networking, investment networking opportunities. And we were talking about the specialized programming, and I'll touch on it a bit later as well. We put together different boot camps and accelerator programs that are very intense. They range from 6 weeks to 6 months. And these are designed to get you investment ready. The boot camp that we did in, oh my gosh, that was September. Yeah, September and October, that helped you get investment ready for the social finance fund. So they had the investment readiness program. You could get grant funding from 10,000 up to 100,000. And we did this boot camp to make sure that your business is ready to apply for this type of grant. And then also did working groups to help you write the grant and get your applications in. And fingers crossed, we're still waiting for some results. The first cycle, which was in February, we had 4 out of the 15 get approved for their funding. And now we're trying to up that. So we want to see a higher percentage of our entrepreneurs get funding. So we're going to see the final numbers very shortly. And yes, we also started our mini social enterprise marketing agency. So we've been able to tap into or engage with over 3,000 entrepreneurs in our 2 years of existence. And the trend that we kept seeing is one, marketing and sales are struggling, and two, access to funding. So we feel like we've now put in place both of those mechanisms in our nonprofit, so that if you are struggling with marketing, we are now designing a marketing agency to support you. And also, if you need access to funding, I'll talk more about the program that we launched to get you funding. But just before that, so going deeper into the driving economic inclusion, hold on, I'm blocking my stuff, I apologize. So we're helping Canadians adapt your skills because you're seeing how COVID is really fast tracking the move to online. So if you weren't playing in the digital space, you are really forced to play in that digital space now. So we're stockpiling as much resources as possible to make sure that you're able to not only survive in this space, but thrive. Coming out of COVID, you should be better off than you were coming in. A person that I consider a virtual mentor of mine, Robert F. Smith. Google his videos. He's a billionaire in the US from Vista, oh my gosh, Vista Partners or Vista Equity Firm, Vista Equity Investments. Vista, I know it's Vista. So look him up and follow his guidance. He is saying, do not waste this pandemic. We all, like everybody around the world, had to really reboot. And now is the time that we can figure out where the trends are going. How do we fortify the businesses that we have, or do we pivot? Because pivoting right now into something that is more lucrative, it's really the perfect time. And you have an ecosystem with things like BrandedTO and the ACBN and the Chamber of Commerce and the BBPA that are all designed to support your business. So tap into these resources, because we want to make sure that you're included in this next wave. And they call it the fourth industrial revolution, where now everything is tech-centered. And really, if we're not driving towards a tech-centered or company for yourself, you're going to be left behind. Like, people that embrace technology right now are definitely going to pass you by. And so also developing platform and career. Right, so I talked about that. Hold on. Oh wait, let me pause because I don't want you to miss this. So Robert F. Smith. All right, so we did talk about convening. I would love to invite you all to our next Legacy Symposium. The pictures that you're seeing in this deck are from the one that we did this past February, which feels like years ago, but we were able to partner with Sheridan College and Roots Community Services to do our second annual Legacy Symposium, where we really talk about what does it mean to leave a lasting legacy. We have to go past the entrepreneur living and dying with the business. We need to create entities, and that's why I always talk about incorporating your business. Sure, you can start as a social enterprise or a sole proprietor, but always be thinking about incorporating, because that entity allows you to move through the world differently. You engage with the government with your taxes differently, and you also are able to leave that asset to your children and also to the community as a whole. So now that we are working to become an intermediary with the government, we want to make sure that when the funds are flowing, there's an entity that represents the Black community, and then we're able to disperse these funds to amplify your business. But we don't want you to just amplify your business and get busier for yourself and more stressed. We want you to amplify your business and understand how to delegate and put the right people in place so that your company grows and is a lasting company for generations to come. Oops. All right. And so when I was talking about access to funding, you may have seen the launch, and I'll send Chris and Vanessa the video. We just recently launched oh my gosh, what's the name? The Dream ACBN Microloan Fund. And it's designed to give out loans between $500 to $25,000 so that we're the first in Ontario, and I believe the second in Canada to be a Black organization led lending or a lending arm of a bank. So we're able to accept your applications, do the assessment, talk to you about your goals, figure out how much money is the specific amount that you need to execute your goals, and then also approve it. So when you go to Alterna, you're actually going with a pre-approval, and they're just dispersing you the money so that you can leverage that capital to do whatever you need for the company. So now when you're thinking about, and I hope you're thinking, oh yeah, that was the one Vanessa. So I hope you've been thinking, with what you're trying to do with your company right now, how much money would allow you to amplify that effort? And when I talk about amplify that effort, it could be bringing on your first team member, so first employee. It could be getting certain equipment that allow you to do your work faster. It could be investing in marketing and different techniques that the more money you put into it, you're going to see that return on investment. And if you haven't calculated like your conversion costs and the different marketing techniques that you're doing right now to understand where money is going in and how much money is coming out, please talk to me after. I'll take you through that exercise to show you how effective your marketing is. And typically, really quickly, you would take the goal that you want to do for the goal in income that you want for the entire year, and then understand how much sales do you need to make in order to hit that goal. And based on those sales, you need to understand how many inquiries or actual consultations do you need to have in order to make one sale. And then you'll have to multiply that by the amount of sales that you want to have. And the last layer is how many leads do you need in order to get enough inquiries. And that'll tell you how much marketing effort you have to be doing every single day. So if you haven't reverse engineered your, I would say, your marketing strategy and your sales strategy yet, you really don't know what to do every single day. Your marketing and your business plan should drive your actions daily, and you shouldn't be chasing the sale. You should be chasing the actual leads and prospecting. And the sales will come if your product is good and your sales process is sound. So hold on. Okay, we're at 6:30. So I want to pause as we're setting up this next. Oh, actually, yeah, if there's any questions about ACBN, please feel free to put it in the chat. And I did want to go deeper into this new fund that was created. So let me just take a breather, and then we can go deep. All right. So based on the initial survey, which I'm looking at right now, I did not see anybody that knew about this fund, which is quite shocking. So to give you the rundown, actually, I will pull it up for you. Let me see if this works. Oh, I should not have clicked that. I already had it open. So last week, the government finally put up a Black Entrepreneurship Program website. So you'll see, didn't say when. So it was, I believe, September 9th, they launched the Black Entrepreneurship Support, 221 million over 4 years that will support Black Canadian business owners and entrepreneurs to grow and succeed. So the program has 3 different components. So there's a national ecosystem fund, which is $63 million that's going to support nonprofit Black organizations that support Black entrepreneurs. So the 63 million is not directly for entrepreneurs to access. The only way that we would be able to access it is if, when it's dispersed to a nonprofit entity, let's say the BBPA or the chamber gets a certain amount of money to support entrepreneurs. If they create a granting program, or, well, they wouldn't create a loan program. So if they create a granting program for entrepreneurs, the money would flow through them. And you'll see here, it says coming soon, call for concepts. So what these call for concepts are is, if you, oh my gosh. So the press release mentioned that the National Ecosystem Fund is going to be delivered through regional development agencies. So regional development agencies are agencies in Southern Ontario, it's FedDev. So FedDev is an entity that disperses grants or different loan supports to tech companies, manufacturing companies, and tourism companies to bolster Canada's economy. And so they're going to be managing this program and partnering with different Black organizations. So the call for concept is going to go out to the Black community for organizations to submit their proposals, and those proposals, FedDev is going to decide who is a partner for this program, and then they're going to release details on how much money the partners would get and how they're going to roll it out. So I apologize if it sounds confusing. Really and truly, the 63 million is going to help Black organizations support your business. So what that support is to be determined when they create the programming, but stay tuned for different organizations to create programs for your business to get support. That could include getting your business plan done. That could include getting your financial statements or your tax filing and your bookkeeping all sorted out so that your business is in a better position. It could include just mentoring and different consulting. So that's one section of it. And then the Black Entrepreneurship Loan Fund is now 30 million coming from the federal government and 128 million coming from the banks. So there was, I believe, 6 or 8 financial institutions that have partnered with the federal government to create this loan program. The financial institutions are contributing 128 million. And again, the federal government is contributing 30 million. And right now, I believe the BBPA and the Black Chamber of Commerce are at the table discussing what this program could look like. What I heard from MP Greg Fergus is that it should take about 6 months for this entire project to be rolled out and for us to start seeing money. So it's not something that is happening right away. It is something that does take a bit of development because they were trying to get it out the door really quickly. So the announcement happened and now they're building out the details. So, and I apologize that a lot of people heard the announcement, and I personally have fielded over 120 calls from entrepreneurs asking, so where do I go to apply? And unfortunately right now the answer is be patient, and you'll see it says, oh wait, hold on, it doesn't say it anymore. It used to say more information will come in the coming weeks. So unfortunately, that is the same response that we're getting from the federal government and any MPs that you talk to. And just to round out, so the third piece is the Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub. So they are looking for organizations to partner with, education institutions to create research projects that will now figure out the landscape of Black entrepreneurship in Canada, and I guess create a resource center for this data to live, and so that we can be making better decisions with better research for Black entrepreneurs. So those are the 3 programs. If you're an entrepreneur, you really fit in the component 2, which is the Entrepreneurship Loan Fund. We're not sure if component 1 is going to generate grants for entrepreneurs, but it will generate supports for your business so that you can go to different Black support organizations and get the support and resources that you need. So that is the loan fund, or that's the entire Black entrepreneurship program in a nutshell. I know there's a lot of nuance, so if there are questions, I'll pause before going to the next section and just to see if there's any questions specifically about the fund, because this is the perfect time to ask, and then we'll move on shortly. All right.
It looks like we may not have any questions specifically about the Black Entrepreneurship Fund. If you have any, please send them through in the Q&A chat and we'll get them answered. I do see some questions, but not regarding this, so we will address them after Brian is done his talk. Yes, if any questions come up after, please drop it in the Q&A chat and we'll answer those questions.
All right, and I'm not surprised because every time I do this presentation, nobody has questions. And you know why? because really what they've dictated to us is you can't really ask any questions because there's nothing new that they can tell you. So the main question I have for you is that, are you willing to be part of first, the first question is, do you feel like this announcement is enough for the Black community? And if you feel like it's enough, please put 1 in the chat. If you feel like we could do better, please put 2. Because the people that put 2 is who I'm gonna talk to next. All right, great question, Chantel. That is coming up right next. So anybody that feels like more can be done and you want to be part of this process, please put 2. Anybody that feels like, hey, this announcement takes care of everything, nothing more to be done, press 1. You could probably go grab some dinner while we do the next section because there's nothing more. You feel like just wait your 6 months. It's enough. No one can burn it down like this. Hey, if we can build Tulsa with 221 million, I'd be down. All right. Okay, so second step. So now you've heard the announcement, and the reason that I have a meeting with the small business minister tomorrow is that we as a community should have a counter proposal. Yes, this is what they proposed to us. It'll take 6 months to roll out. But since I saw in the chat that nobody was consulted when this was being rolled out, I want to hear from you on what do you feel like is missing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this link into the chat room. Oh no, hold on. And it's a community brainstorm session. So we're going to take all of our input that we're going to have today, and I'm going to compile a report and present it to the minister's office tomorrow. And hey, if you want to be part of the advisory board, please put your name. I'll show you where to put your name. But this is, so Chantel, this is our first town hall meeting. So we want to do more of these, but since the meeting is happening tomorrow, we don't have time to organize a town hall. I want to find out anybody on this call that wants to give recommendations. Now's the time to give your input, and I'm going to put it into a report and do the presentation tomorrow. So what we'll do, if you come with me to this link, it's called a Jamboard. So be sure to join. And then there's 3 pages. So the first page is what support do young entrepreneurs need? So what you'll do is on the left, you'll click this little sticky notes, and then you will type your recommendation. And then you'll save it. So when you save it, you'll put it into a nice section. And so the first question is what support do young entrepreneurs need? And the post, yeah, the link is posted if you saw it. And then the second question is, hold on. Hold on, Vanessa, are you seeing the link in the chat? Can you post it again?
I'm not. Okay, the link is in the chat, but it may have just gone to the panelists. So let me just.
Oh, right.
Here, so that I can
yeah,
go
can you
to
put it
all.
into everyone?
There we go. So all the attendees should have access to the Jamboard. And how long is this link going to be accessible for?
It'll be up, but I'm going to use the information for the meeting tomorrow. But for the advisory board, we can put together town halls going forward so we can add to this as we go.
All right.
So you're able to put it in?
Yes, it should be. Yes, it did go to all the attendees. Yeah.
All right. Perfect. All right. So as people are coming to the Jamboard, oh, I need to put the question on here. So page 2, you'll see, I want you to put in the specific number that you would need to help your business. So hopefully you've already done this calculation. You know, if you went to the bank and asked for X amount, this is what would take your business to the next level. So again, make the sticky note, put it onto the second page with the dollar figure that you need for your business to help it grow. Hold on, it's stuck. It's my computer stuck. Tell me my computer froze. All right. Are you hearing me okay?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So is anybody having trouble getting onto the Jamboard?
And just to be clear, is it for the attendees to log on right now and populate the sticky note, or after the session?
So we have to do it right now. So
Okay.
because by the end of the night, I want to be able to compile. Yeah, so by the end of the night, I want to be able to compile the report. So even if it's just one sticky, put your thoughts, put how much money you need on page 2, and then on page 3, put your first name and your email so that we can make sure that you're kept in the loop and I can let you know how the meeting went tomorrow.
Amazing.
So maybe we can do it for like the
attendees
next 5 minutes.
to contribute and put something through on the Jamboard. This is a great way to have our voices heard, to say exactly what we need. So if anyone can go in and just populate that, that would be amazing.
All right, awesome. Hold on, where's my thing? All right, so as I was saying, you'll see on the first page, what barriers have you faced when trying to start a business? Also, you could put a sticky note about what supports could you use. The second page, you want to put how much money do you need to get started and where have you tried to go get this funding? And on page 3, you want to put what would you like, or would you like to be part of the advisory committee? And please place your name and email. So the thing that I want to show you with this brainstorming session is we need to shift from solitary either organizations or individuals going into secret meetings and representing the Black community. We need to now figure out ways to get our voices heard. And again, this is another small group, but this will be the start of a different type of approach. Like if we can continue to build onto this with whoever signs up for the committee. And again, if this is extra work that you don't need, by all means, you do not have to join the advisory committee. But again, you are really gonna only be able to take what is offered. Like the government offering the 221 million was because they talked to a couple organizations and then they consulted with the banks and came up with this number. But I mean, it's hard to get all of our opinions on any topic, but at minimum, we should be working towards that. there should be a mechanism that if something is happening for the Black community, you're able to weigh in on it. And again, if it's as easy as doing a survey or having a jam board like this once a month, let's start this type of process. And to test it out, because just so happens we have a meeting with the government tomorrow, we can now show them, hey, yesterday we were on with 10, 20, 30 people that said this about the entrepreneurship program that it's missing. So if we can't tell them what's missing, the 221 million isn't going to capture everything that is needed in our community. So hold on, let me go back. Awesome, glad to see people joining the advisory. I only see one person that put 15,000. I know there are more people that need money. You cannot get money without asking for money. So you have to put the number. So I love that idea of workspaces. That is very important. The workshops are important. I'll even put, do I need the number?
People seem to be shying away with the money number.
And that's the big part of it, because the number that you put down is what you craft the support around. The 221 million, it's possible that what you need, you could get it out of there, but it's not guaranteed. So we want to make sure that when you're putting your number in, there's an actual provision for you. So when you put the number, and even if you want to put the number and your business name, that way in the report, I can say X company needs X amount of money. What is going to be the plan to get them that money? So put your business name with the amount so that when I'm presenting, I can say this company is looking for X. And then later on, we can sit down and say, okay, what are you going to do with this money? If we're able to get it to you, we'll create that plan. And now the next step is for the government to come through on their promise. So if you do put the money amount, put your business name just so I'll know who asked for that money and I can specifically mention you. K&Q Empire. Excellent. I love that name. And I asked for your name too, because we did a financial needs questionnaire, and over 200 people have now filled out the financial needs that they need. So these are the things that you may have missed that initial survey. So by putting your information here, you're able to be part of the entrepreneurs that are specifically asking for a certain amount of money, and then the government can now create a program specifically for you. Even if it's going to roll into what they've already announced, at minimum, we can get them to release it quicker, and we can get them to release it so that they know that you're part of the people that need it, so you're not forgotten. We want to make sure that we create this platform so that anybody that's in entrepreneurship in the Black community, we're able to say, this company needs this amount, and this is the entrepreneur, and this is how to get it to them. We don't want the government guessing. And I feel like that initial announcement was the government's best guess as to what the Black entrepreneurs need. And unless you tell them what you need, their guesses are usually going to miss the mark, or it's going to be very difficult for you to navigate the way that they want you to navigate it. We have to control the way that we access our own money. Remember, they're rolling out this announcement with taxpayer money, which we are all taxpayers. So we should not be dictated to say, here's how you're going to get your money back. If you needed the $20,000 that Gems for the Hustle just put in, Gems for the Hustle should be able to put in an application specifically for that and not have to jump through hoops. Like if we compile like the money that's on this screen right now is less than 200,000. That 200,000 should be earmarked because you all have shown that, one, you're serious about your business. You want to make sure that you get the funding you need to take that next step. And so we should be able to point you directly to that resource. It should not be a guess, and we should not be winging it. So this is what this Jamboard is going to do for us. We're going to be very specific on what you need so that you specifically get that and are not trying to dissect everybody's announcements that are just too general.
And do you have to be an established business already, with website and all of that ready by the time you're putting in the money you're looking for and your business on that page?
So it would depend. So if you are established, then you would need the money for a specific, specific thing. If you aren't established, then you would need the money to develop those things. So if you need the money to complete your branding and your website and your initial marketing strategy, then hey, whatever you ask for, you know what you're going to use it for, and then it's going to help you to launch. If you're already established and maybe need to get equipment or hire staff or what have you to help you take that next step in your business and possibly get investment ready, then you would know what you're using the money for. So don't feel like you have to be in any specific, there's no specific criteria on where your business needs to be. The real criteria is that you are in business or want to be, and you need support, and we need to get you the support.
Perfect. And there was a question about the advisory council page. What would be needed or asked of us? Trying to gauge if you need expertise to be part of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have expertise, I would love for you to offer it. But really, it's just about you being an entrepreneur that wants your voice heard. So the advisory council, we're going to try and meet as often as possible, maybe once a month. I know for Brampton, we have a Brampton Black think tank, and we meet the last Sunday of every month just to talk about what everybody's working on and how we can support them. This type of thing would be similar. Every month, we'll touch base. As an entrepreneur, what are you working on? What do you need? And then be able to get you those supports, give you updates on different conversations that are happening with the government to see these recommendations that you're given, how far along are they with it? So to keep you up to date on what's happening in the ecosystem. So you don't feel obligated that you have to come with your PhD, just come with yourself. What you offer to the table is your own experience and your own perspective. And we need as many experiences as possible so that the government hears from as many voices as possible in a professional, I want to say controlled way, but in a way that is digestible. Because again, you'll see there's a lot of different ideas that are in this Jamboard. And then when we're able to organize it and present it, then the government understands what we need without each of us individually going to the government and trying to get attention. We can now organize ourselves, put it into a message, and then present it and have them create an initiative that matches the request. So yeah, you don't feel like you have to bring expertise, but expertise is much welcome. All right, I'm seeing that's awesome. I'm glad to see everybody that is interested in joining the advisory council. Again, you'll get an email just to say, thank you for joining. We'll put together the initial meeting. But the first one will probably be the update on the meeting tomorrow. As best I can, I'll send out the mini report that I'm going to put together with everybody's input from today. And then going forward, we'll just keep each other in the loop. And that wraps up the initial presentation. So actually, I'll put my email into the chat. Or you can go to our website. I know our website is being redone, so it might change within a week or two. But the link there, if you were interested in getting the microloan, if you're looking for funding between 500 to 25,000, we do have capacity for that right now. So on our website, actually, I can pull up our website. Let me see. All right. So you see here, we did the video about the microloan and the hub launch. And if you do know that you need financial support, fill out our financial needs form. We'll reach out to you, have an initial conversation, and then figure out how much money you need, where you're going to use it for, and help you with the application to get said money. If it is over 25,000, we are working on increasing our capacity, but we're not there yet. So we might connect you with another resource that we have in our network, but between 500 and 25,000, we are able to execute. And so our microloan is a loan. So the interest rate is prime plus 1.25, which right now it comes to 3.7% for the loans that we give out. And if you are looking for a grant, the Black Chamber of Commerce does have a grant open right now. I actually put that into the chat. They partnered with Facebook Canada and have a fund of $500,000 to be able to grant to Black businesses. And if you don't know about Digital Main Street, you should. They're able to get you funding for your marketing strategy up to $2,500, and also they'll help you build out your Shopify store if you sell online but if you want to sell online but don't have a presence just yet. Oh, Digital Main Street. If I did not spell Digital Main Street right, it's digitalmainstreet.ca/shop here. And I encourage you to watch the video of our hub launch, because we walk through, or the microloan launch, we walk through our new Black business development hub that we are launching at the airport. The building is beautiful. I want as many of you to use it as your headquarters, and definitely book a tour. We're gonna do tours in December. But yeah, if you haven't seen the hub yet, watch that video. Oh, am I not sending it to the right people? Hold on.
I think maybe your response is maybe just be going to the panelists. So let me copy a link here. If anyone from the attendees can confirm that they've received link, perfect.
Yeah, sorry about that. I keep sending it directly to people.
No worries. There was a question about, I think someone had a question about Shopify. What if we don't want to use Shopify? I've come across issues getting help with website development or creation.
Yeah, unfortunately, this one is sponsored by Shopify, so I don't think you have a choice with who you want to use. But if you've had issues with Shopify before, you do get a coach that walks you through the whole process. So if you are using a different platform, you could still qualify for the 2,500 grant to help with your marketing, and then use whatever platform you want. The support with building a Shopify store, that is only for Shopify, but the 2,500, you can use that for any marketing strategy that you put together.
Beautiful. These are some really great resources. I personally haven't heard of these resources, so it's really exciting. And, you know, everyone share this information. The more people that know about it, the better. So thank you for giving us these resources.
Oops. Did that one go out? I put the link again. Somebody, B, did you see the link for Digital Main Street? Or did you have a question? I think it says BK.
Questions regarding Digital Main Street, 2,500 link, please. Are you looking for the link for Digital Main Street? Because that has been posted. If you can clarify in the chat. Okay, so you are with, B is with Visual Main Street, but she can't qualify for the $2,500.
What did they tell you? Because before, I know you had to be a brick and mortar, but they shifted that so that you can be a work from home or an artist. So did you recently qualify? What did they tell you was the reason that you didn't qualify? I mean, did you recently apply? Why did they tell you you didn't qualify?
B, I'll give you access to speak if you feel comfortable chiming in directly versus over the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be good to go to respond.
Oops. Yeah, because I know before they said like you had to have a brick and mortar and be paying commercial tax either with a mortgage or with not a mortgage, your rent. And so
Yes. Oh,
but
sorry.
they should have
Yes, they
changed
did
that.
say they did say property rent, which was the hindrance to that, because I did see that they had three kind of streams for the 2,500, but all of them sort of relied on some kind of brick and mortar space in order to qualify for it, which proved to be, disqualify me effectively.
Right. So I'll check with them to confirm if that's still a criteria, because the last email that I got when it reopened, so it had been running for a while, and then after COVID they got a boost to reopen it, and it was supposed to be for people that are working from home. So I can check to see if it's actually updated and what the process would be for you to apply.
Yes, please, because I'm with them actually. I'm already doing the Shop Here program. And I was fortunate enough to have a very lovely young lady who has been able to assist me, even though I'm not on Shopify, because I had already pre-purchased Bluehost for 3 years. I'd already started my WooCommerce. I've actually got my website, I want to say almost half done. It's just that I need assistance to get it finished, connected, in order to use the ad credits and to use, the different resources they have. But it's proving challenging without the funds. And I'm not entirely sure if the 2,500 is direct funds for the different items that I have to get accomplished, or if it is just 2,500 to pay for the people who would assist me, but from the DMS.
Because when I got the 2,500, it was because you create they call it digital transformation plan, and then that marketing strategy plan that you create, you're able to use the money for that. So it wasn't for the support I got from DMS. It was for whatever you needed marketing wise for your company.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then I don't know. Maybe it's not updated. I'm not sure, but it would be very helpful if I could qualify, considering we're all kind of at home, working from home.
Exactly.
So resources are harder.
Yeah. So I can confirm that for you.
Thank you.
That is a very good point. Please make sure to take note of Brian's contact information, write it down, and stay in touch with him.
Cool. And I do apologize. I forgot how long we're going for, but I did have to jump off in like 2 minutes. So I'm glad to see everybody putting their info in the Jamboard, the advisory council. I am going to create the spreadsheet, send an email to everybody to let you know what's happening tomorrow. And then all the recommendations, I'll put that into a mini report, and I'll share that with everybody as well. And I'll share it with you, Christopher and Vanessa, just so you have it in case anybody else didn't get a chance to put their contact info, that we can get it to them as well.
Amazing. Well, on behalf of the Branded team, I would like to thank you, Ryan, for taking this time to explain to us all of the resources that are available to Black entrepreneurs and all of the ways that ACBN in particular can support us as Black entrepreneurs. And so thank you so much.
No, my pleasure. Happy to get the word out. I don't typically do conferences, so I love BrandedTO, so I'm glad to be here, but I feel like there's a lot of work to do. So yeah, the conferences, this one I'll take time for, but other than that, you'll catch me doing work. So join me in the work and let's get the proper supports to our Black community. I'm glad to have you.
Amazing.
And come see the hub. The hub is for you. All right. I'll talk
Amazing.
to you soon.
All right. Take care, Ryan. And speaking of
Thank you so much.
supports, we still have one more session this evening. It starts at 7:30. Ask an Expert, social media marketing, featuring Sarah Jane Guerra of Swish Social and Tanya Hales. So if you have any questions about social media, burning questions of how to leverage social media effectively for your businesses and really grow your channels, you want to tune in. It starts at 7:30. We're going to be taking a quick break until then. So get your water, get fed, go to the washroom, do everything you need to do, and then come right back. All right? We'll see you all soon.
All right, I'll sign out of this link here and we'll see everyone on for the Ask an Expert session.